Welcome to Stories from the Cauldron. I'm David LeBaron, and this episode is about being silly. Oh, it's so important to be silly. Can't take yourself too seriously. Silly, silly, silly. Now, I know some of you are thinking, hey, I've taken your classes or watched you do a lecture, and you're kind of serious. You're a little stoic and kind of a stickler for the rules.
Class, be still. Be silent. There'll be no nonsense in my class.
Well, you're right. I am in those situations. I am actually very serious because what happens is you're doing a ritual or a lecture and you're building energy. You're building energy. You're building energy. And then someone gets uncomfortable with that energy and says some like peanut gallery rah, 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 joke, and everybody laughs like the school clown, and all that energy goes away. It's gone. Well, I was just trying to build energy for an hour, and now you just threw it away. You're actually doing yourself a disservice because magic lives in the uncomfortable moments. I promise you. Let yourself be uncomfortable sometimes. It's wonderful. But sometimes it's really great to be silly, right? I mean, it's just so much fun just to be ridiculous. I will tell you, one of my favorite rituals of my circle that I ever did was at Descanso Gardens in Southern California. And it was the spring equinox. And we ran around like fairies. We gave each other fairy names and talked in ridiculous voices and sang songs. What was my name? Oh, I was Codswallop Confundity. I was a very serious fairy. And we just laughed and sang Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do and looked for fairy circles and gave offerings. And it was so silly that the magic was real and palatable. You could see it between us. It was lovely and wonderful. So we've got, serious David, and then you've got silly David. So when do you do which and how do you know? I mean, obviously running around like a fairy in a park is silly, and drawing down the moon is serious, but is it? Because when I draw down the moon, I can't help but laugh and have a big smile on my face. I mean, I don't do it because it sucks, people, right? So I'm just gonna get silly with you and tell some silly stories that are based on tarot. Now, don't get mad. Please know that I respect the tarot so much. Perhaps you've taken my class, learned the tarot in 4 easy steps. So you should know that I have, my commitment to them is completely respectful. But I gotta tell you, improvising these silly stories based on different cards, I think it's made me a better reader. Yeah, so I want to share that with you. Not 1, but 2 silly stories. And then we're gonna go to the park, and I'm gonna be with my friend Dylan, who's a yoga instructor. And we're gonna do witch yoga, which is only funny because I can't do yoga. We're gonna have a sense of humor about it. And maybe if we're lucky, I can get him to do a sound bath. That would be quite the gift. So let's get on with it. My first silly story is the 5 of Cups. Ooh, such a serious card, isn't it? However, will it be silly? Wait, find out. This story is based on the 5 of Cups. As you can see, it's a shrouded figure looking defeated and ashamed over some spilt cups all around him. In the Mythic Tarot, it's betrayal, someone fleeing while the cups have been knocked down. And it is the basis for this very important, life-changing story. Once upon a time, there was a man named Steve. And Steve thought it would be a riot to wear gold lame to the white party.
The White Party is a yearly party in Palm Springs where thousands of gay male homosexuals get together to dance to terrible music, teardrops, and fun.
Can you imagine? Gold lame to the white party, not even silver lame? I mean, what was he thinking? Was he trying to be ironic? Steve isn't smart enough to understand irony. In the middle of the party, he pulled off that cloak, throwing pride to the wind, and danced around in his gold lame jumpsuit. Suddenly, the queens around him screamed, dropped their drinks, covered their eyes, and ran from him, shunning him. Those poor gays had to get that image out of their eyes. They had to stare at each other's abs for hours upon hours until they rid themselves of that horrible gold lame image burnt on the retina. So there's Steve, alone and mocked, because he made a bad decision. He made bad choices, not just color palette, but who marks themes so blatantly? How dare he? And now he suffers those consequences. consequences he may not have known were there before. I feel a little bad for Steve, having just said that. I mean, maybe Steve's just trying to be Steve. Maybe he's trying to, understand color theory. Now I know what you're thinking. If this is reversed, it's the opposite. Flip. Suddenly Steve doesn't feel ashamed. That would be wrong. No, he still feels shame. But instead of his actions just making him shameful of his actions, he's ashamed of his very self, of his internal self. Steve, man. Poor Steve. Girl, I feel so bad for Steve. But let's be honest. I have been Steve. Who of us has not been Steve? Who has not wanted to challenge the system or buck authority, and we made bad decisions and left a party friendless and downtrodden because maybe we had a little too much wine and maybe we thought it'd be funny if we just... Never mind. This is Steve. The 5 Cups. Shame and betrayal. The end. I love that story. It's so ridiculous. It makes me laugh so hard. I mean, the 5 of Cups is actually about betrayal and shame. So, that's kind of heavy, right? And there's nothing really silly about that. But, maybe if we can laugh about it, we can talk about shame and get some of the pain out of the shame, as it were. Kind of do some healing. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, I'm all about pro-healing. So, in the next story, we're going to skip the 6 and 7 of Cups. Not for any heavy reason, just that I really want to get to the 8 of Cups, which is like my favorite story to tell. If you're a linear person like me, I'll just quickly say 6 is about sort of like going home and early memories and your innocence, depending on where it is in the spread. And 7 is about choices and decisions and possibilities, which is important because that inspires the next card, which is the decision to journey. And as you see in these cards, it's a journey into the psyche, into the unknown, and sometimes manifesting as an actual physical journey. This card is pretty heavy and not silly, and I'm about to totally make fun of it. So, it's like, feel free to comment on that if you want. I'm all for it. Let's have some fun together. Let's have a sense of humor about this. So the next story is about the 8 of Cups, but this time with werewolves and witches. This story is based on the 8 of Cups in the tarot. As you'll see, it is someone walking alone by themselves, and the cups are like partially knocked over. And in the mythic tarot, she's actually entering the underworld. It's a card about entering your psychological self or the dark places where you may or may not be. And it is the basis for my story. Woohoo! Okay, get comfortable. In a galaxy far, far away, there was a fierce planet filled with magic and sorcery. Immense and powerful, it reeked of energy so intense that alien robots would observe it and the tribes that covered planet Fierce. The 2 ruling tribes of this world were the shapeshifter people, who were both human and wolf. And the other was a tribe of witches, hurling great magics and feats of power. Now they should have fit together cohesively. They would have made an awesome team. A beautiful, peaceful planet, but unfortunately, like many great people, they warred with one another. This rivalry had raged for so long, no one knew how to end it or how it began, but such is the will of people who have power for the sake of power. One day, Billy, the prince of the werewolves, went out on his own to an unclaimed area known as Feathered Forest. A place so desolate, magic and power so scary that none of the tribes would dare claim it. But Billy was fierce and curious, and that day was the day of the birthday, and he really wanted to see it. You see, on planet Fierce, there was a beast called the Rhinurki. And it looked, well, on planet Earth, it would look like the head of a baby rhinoceros and the back of a turkey, with prism feathers that would shimmer and shine as it jumped from tree to tree and glided through magical feathered forest. Oh, and Rhinurki are hermaphrodites. So once every 7 years, a day on the dot, they climb the tallest tree, scream their screams, and give birth to their young, the giblets. And they float amongst the canopy. And this was a sight the young werewolf needed to see. I mean, wouldn't you? I would want to see that. Right? So he hiked and he hiked and he hiked and he hiked and he hiked way out to Feathered Forest. And what did he come across besides the Rhinurki gobbling around everywhere? Was a campsite. Whose campsite could this be? He called to the tent, "Ho to the camp, friend or foe?" Well, it certainly was no friend. For out of the tent emerged, and nothing but his chonies, which is a kind of loincloth, but Phil, the heir apparent of the witch clan. What? Both of their chins dropped as they stood frozen, staring at each other, unknowing what to do or how to react. This was an unclaimed territory. No blood had been spilled, no aggravation. They just stared at each other, unknowing and suspecting. Billy snarled. Billy, like most werewolves, was strong and thick with muscle upon muscle upon muscle. And there stood Phil, basically naked, ripped, lean body with his long hair swooping about him. Now, instead of admiring and connecting with one another like the longing they secretly felt, they decided to do battle. And at the same moment, they attacked each other with kicks and fists and pounding and beating and rolling on the ground. Phil noticed that Billy did not change form. So he did not use magic. And Billy noticed that Phil did not use magic. So he did not change form. No changing, no magics. This would be a test of muscle, of virility, machismo. Ugh. They rolled and rolled and rolled and fought and fought and fought until exhaustion finally took them over and they collapsed on the ground by a tree. Billy said, "Give up yet, witch boy?" Phil, panting for air, responded, "Not even close." He lied. Then, all around them came the largest gobbling they had ever heard. Gobble, 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 followed by screams and moans. It was ear-piercing. It was everywhere. A hole in the tongue, the tops of the forest, this ear-piercing sound, this half-gobble, half-scream. It filled the world, the planet, maybe even the solar system. And then silence. And thousands upon thousands upon thousands, tiny little feathers floated in the canopy ceiling. Rhinurki giblets! It was these magical prism feathers just floating on the wind so up high it's like starlight came to visit. "Wow," said Phil. "Right," said Bill. "This is amazing." And then they both laughed, and they forgot to hate each other, and instead, they looked into each other's eyes. Now, perhaps it was the awe that came from the giblets or the scream of the Rhinurki, but they felt a connection deeper and more profound into those windows of the soul. And the next thing they knew, they were kissing and kissing and kissing and kissing and kissing. They spent the whole day kissing and rolling around the ground again, but this time, a little different than the way they were before. And when they were spent, and I do mean spent, they decided to spend the night together. Why the Rhinurki not? Who would believe them anyway, right? The prince of the werewolves and the heir apparent of the witch clan hooking up for an afternoon delight? People would think they were crazy or write songs about him. When dawn came, they departed. And you know what? The next day, Billy had to find a reason to go back to Feathered Forest to see if the camp was still there. And it was. And it became every day they would find a place to hook up and to be together and to laugh. And they had to raise those giblets, right? And have a whole lot of sex. And they ended up getting to know each other. I mean, not just their clans or their types or supposed separateness, but the actual heart inside. Well, after 6 or 8 moons of all this lovemaking and being together, they decided they must go public. They must tell their families, because they couldn't keep their love a secret. It would not be a love that dare not speak its name. They would scream it from the treetops, like a Rhinurki! Well, all good things must come to an end. Or as I like to say, assholes will be assholes. And their families were not happy. Actually, their fury fueled the sun. Billy's werewolf people beat him, turned on him, and forbade him to ever rut with some disgusting witch ever again. And Phil's punishment was even worse, because his family not only threatened him, they cursed him. They pulled the magic out of him, leaving him defenseless and vulnerable, and kicked him out of the coven like magical refuse. Exiled and alone, Phil wept and found himself wandering around the kingdom where he was no longer loved, and ended up back in Feathered Forest, weeping. That's where Billy found him, blubbering and inconsolable. He hugged him as he too broke down, and they wept as one in each other's arms. Finally, Billy said, "To blazes with everything. You're all I want. Let's just go live on our own, a different territory somewhere, a different planet. Let's just love one another and be together." Phil cried and said, "But I can't." "Why not?" "Because they took my magic from me. I have nothing to offer you. I have nothing to protect us with in this crazy wild world." And Billy grabbed his chin with his muscular thumb, and he looked him in the eyes and said, "The only magic I need is the magic I feel when I look into your eyes." And Phil said, "That's not magic. That's love." And Billy laughed and he said, "Only a witch would know that magic is love." So they decided how to be together, somewhere. And they fell asleep in each other's arms in Feathered Forest, determined to be together. Sorry. But alas, when Phil woke, he was alone. His love was not by him. Had he changed his mind? No. He saw evidence of a tussle. A terrible tussle. A terrible, tremendous tussle. He feared his parents had found him and done away with his lover, and they stole his magic, why not his heart? Or maybe Billy's ferocious family found him and pulled him away and are now punishing and pummeling him right now. Anger bubbled, and he thought, "No one takes my man away from me. Or my wolf away from me." He vowed a quest to find him, but it turned out neither family had him. It was the robotic aliens. The asexual polyamorous aliens had abducted Billy the werewolf. Now, in some places like Earth, the aliens orbit the outside of the planet observing. No. In Planet Fierce, the aliens live inside the planet. Because it was not a molten core like Earth, it was actually very temperate, much like San Diego. This card depicts Phil leaving everything he's known, everything he's trusted, every safety, every security, every power he had, and entering the temperate bowels of Planet Fierce to confront an asexual polyamorous robots from another planet to get his man back. It's not just a journey physically, it's a journey inside, where he has to find empowerment without power. That's what this card is about. And this would be the end of my card tale. But I know some of you want to know what happened to Billy and Phil, don't you? All right. And I would not be a very good storyteller if I did not tell you the ending and wrap it up for you. So here goes. When Phil entered San Diego, he found Billy asleep, tied to a wall and getting anal probed and inspected. But the aliens didn't attack him. They didn't hate him. In fact, they were delighted he was there. See, the aliens, being asexual and polyamorous, didn't actually understand what any of those words meant. They just thought it was cool. They also did not understand this love thing that people seem to have. Werewolves, witches, sorcerers, and the like had this love bond that the aliens couldn't understand, being, robotic. They wanted to measure it and dissect it and figure it out. Well, Phil agreed to help him. They brought Billy out of sedation, and Billy looked at Phil, and Phil looked at Billy, and their eyes connected, and that was love. That measurable love in the air that the robots were ecstatic and did experiments trying to absorb, collect, and understand it. They spent so much time and energy examining the data, much like a supercomputer playing tic-tac-toe, they were distracted. And Phil was able to unable probe Billy, much to his disappointment, and escape. They stole one of the alien ships and flew far from Planet Fierce and ended up in a beautiful place called the Island of Fire, or as we say, Fire Island, where they introduced the concept of fierce, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Hey, Dylan.
Hi, David.
Hey, honey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
Being a part of this is my friends. Those are the
Hi.
Stories in the Cauldron. This is Dylan Wallace, it's yogi extraordinary.
That's me.
And Dylan's going to attempt to have me do yoga. I can wear this, right? I need some kind of bling.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to I have done yoga before, but there's a reason I don't do it. Okay. All right.
Well,
talk to me, coach.
All right. So
Put me in.
We're gonna do some poses that are gonna ground us, and so it's perfect. Our feet are bare. We're touching the ground. We're gonna start off with your very favorite pose. I know that it's your favorite because you tell me
You're
all
gonna
the
make me
time.
do tree pose?
Yeah. You know, because we have to do the things that we don't like sometimes.
Why?
You know, because it makes us stronger, not only in the body, but also in the mind.
Is pouting part of yoga?
You can pout now and get it out of the way. So let's start off with the left foot, because we normally start off with the right foot and the left foot gets jealous.
Okay.
So we'll shift a little bit more weight
jealous.
into the left foot and lift and spread your toes so you can feel that the foot is super grounded into the earth. And then maybe the inner arch starts to lift up. And then start to float the right knee up. Hold on to my shoulder. And then just take your hand onto the ankle and bring your foot wherever you can. So maybe the foot doesn't come all the way up onto the thigh.
Ow, that hurts.
So we'll just be here for a second.
And your ballet arms.
So we'll reach our hands up, helping each other balance here. Now,
So if we're both in tree pose, does that make this forest pose?
yes. Whoa. So breathe all the way down to the standing foot and exhale out through the heel and feel like the ground is absorbing you a little bit. So 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more inhale. Exhale.
Tree pose, full on tree pose, full on tree pose.
All right, and then let's lift the lifted leg up a little bit. Take the hand onto your hip and we'll just step the foot back. Good, yeah, so the foot's at an angle and then we'll bend deep into the front knee. So it's kind of like we're coming into warrior 1, but not all the way. So we'll interlace the hands behind our back here. And then there was a special request for this pose. So I think maybe this is your least favorite pose, right? We'll lift the shoulders up, back, and down. So you're already starting to feel
Up, back, and down? Do that.
So up, back, and down.
Oh, now you're saying.
And then draw the lowest ribs down. Take the knuckles away from your butt, so you're getting a deeper stretch into your chest. And now start to hinge from the pelvis and roll. Absolutely, you have to breathe. And so try it again. So the way that we were breathing before, imagine the breath is starting from your hands.
My left butt.
Your left butt, then firm it into the right butt. Does that make it feel better?
I don't know. Oh. I was grounding.
Focus on your feet touching the ground, and then feel also the blood flowing from the heart to your brain. And then if it helps, you can close the eyes and breathe down to your feet. Exhale into the ground. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale into the feet. Exhale into the ground. Now release the clasp with the hands. Take them down to the ground and straighten out the front leg as best as you can. And then, yeah, so the ground is far. So let's put actually our left hand on the ankle lightly, right hand on top of it. And now feel like you're drawing energy from the ground up the leg, all the way back into the hips, and then press that energy back through the outer edge of the back foot. And then see if you can get a little bit longer through the spine. And then as you exhale, try and fold just a little bit deeper. So again, inhale down the spine to the feet. Exhale out through the feet into the ground. Inhale down the spine to your feet. Exhale down into the ground. Good. And then place the hands back down, bend into the front knee, spin onto the ball out of the back foot, and step back forward. You can do it. Yes, you did it. Yeah. Inhale, lift the spine up halfway. Let's fold forward again.
I like this one.
This is a good part. Then press down, squeeze your butt, stand all the way up, reach the hands up. And exhale, bring the hands to your heart. Yay! Okay, we have to do it again on the opposite side. All right, so I'll switch to this side. That way we can use each other for support in tree pose. So which pose do you think is the hardest?
Tree.
Tree still? Okay, cool. So we do that first.
What's the
We get
second pose? That wounded warrior or something?
That's, yeah, humble warrior.
Humble warrior.
And then the last pose that we do is pyramid pose. Like we're...
In Egypt.
Exactly.
Boss, help me.
So more weight now shifts into the right foot. And we'll try that again. We'll lift and
You
spread
had
the
a bee
toes.
tattoo on your foot.
Yeah.
Is that new?
Nope, I got this when I was 19 years
Oh,
old.
so this is not new.
Nope.
Okay. There's no nose to it.
And then inner arch lifts up. So you can feel the foot is completely grounded to the earth. All right, now we'll start to slowly flow the left leg up. And you don't have to take it all the way into your thighs. So don't feel like you have to. Maybe on your calf.
Oh, yeah, this is-
Yeah, there you go. All right.
hand up again.
Yep, hand up. If that makes it tougher, you can always take the hand to your hip instead. That might make it easier.
This makes it feel like more ballet.
Okay, you like that.
We haven't done it for 30 years, but still. This is about ballet.
So this grounding breath that we do, you inhale down to the foot, exhale into
Why
the
is it
ground.
easier when I inhale than when I exhale?
Probably because when you're inhaling, you're breathing the prana into your body. That's the life force. And when you're exhaling, you're releasing. So you're charging up on every inhale. And on your exhale, you're releasing old, stagnant energy. So focus on the inhale. Inhale down. Release the stagnant energy on the exhale. Maybe that makes it feel easier. What do you think? Maybe? Okay, let's get out of this pose. Lift forward back up. And let's step the foot back. We'll start off with our bent knee, and then hands onto the hips, and then, so the knee, and that's great. So the knee can just be a little bit behind the ankle or right on top. It doesn't have to go forward. And then interlacing the hands, switch the crossing so it feels strange. Because it's always good to practice being in awkward situations.
And surfing, they're called funky footed.
Funky footed, I like that. So shoulders lift up, back, down. Draw the lowest ribs down and in so it's nice and contained. We're not using our low back. We'll hinge from the pelvis and fold. So you said before that your left butt was hurting you. Right butt might hurt this time. Hug it in towards the left butt and see if that helps. It'll be more engaged. Then reach the knuckles up towards the sky. And so let your neck and your head relax. And what's cool about this pose is that it's an inversion. So the heart is above the head. And what's difficult about it is
Don't stick my hands above my head. Oh yeah, I guess it is. Okay.
is that the ground is now above you and the sky is below you. So that's what makes it disorienting. But if you keep the eyes open and breathe slowly over time, it starts to feel a little bit more natural. So we're breathing from the arms down to the feet and exhaling out through the feet into the ground. Just do it one more time. Inhale down the arms to the feet. Exhale out through the feet into the ground. And then take the hands to your butt. Then release the clasp, take them down. So straighten out the front leg as best as you can. And now right hand onto the ankle, left hand on top. Good. And so draw energy from the ground up your leg so you can feel the right hip drawing back, and then send it back through the left foot and see if that helps you get longer through the spine. And then you can exhale and fold a little bit deeper.
Speaking of pyramid,
Yes.
I was reading this thing about Cleopatra,
Yeah.
and they said that there's a lot of discrepancy whether she was actually beautiful or not. But the one quote they had was that it wasn't her beauty so much as her aura.
Oh. I like that.
So even though I look really ugly in this pose, I have a beautiful aura.
Could never be ugly in this pose. As long as you feel beautiful, you are beautiful. Let's just take one more inhale. And exhale, hands come back down, bend into the front knee, and let's step forward. Yep. Yes. Inhale, lift the spine up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, stand all the way up. Hands reach up. And slowly bring the hands to your heart on your exhale.
You did
Yay!
Yoga, witch yoga. So we got ancient Egypt, we got forests,
Yeah.
we got
And
humbleness.
warriors.
Well, humble warriors.
Yeah,
The goddess.
exactly.
All right, well done.
Yeah, how do you feel?
Oh, good.
Good. Nice.
This
Legs
is-
feel a little tingly.
Yeah, I got this. I'm kind of sitting in plie here.
Uh-huh.
Fight.
Awesome.
We're not fighting.
Humbly fight.
Humbly fight.
Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you would do a little sound bath with us.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's do. We're gonna play the haha game. Okay, go for it.
Do I go first?
Yeah, well, you start with the balls.
Okay. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha. We have to be better at the
I can't count.
It's hard over 4.
Yeah. Can't
This
visualize
is our
it in my
silly
mind.
sound bowls.
Our lives are awesome.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Dylan, for hanging out my silly episode about how important it is to be silly in the world and not take yourself too seriously. And just being a big old goofball sometimes. So we did it. Thanks, guys.
Yay.
My friends.
I'm ready for more.
That was
I'll
lovely.
be laying here.
Let's take a little nap and just,
Yeah.
just fix our energy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. This silly episode was so much fun to do. I mean, it's crazy. I love doing every part of it. It was wonderful. And thank you for sharing it with me. Thank you for being silly with me. It was really lovely. Oh, and if you want a little extra dollop of silly, should you ever be asked to read tarot at a party, especially if it's a gay party, you should really bring the Britney Spears Oracle deck. I'm not even joking. It is a hoot and a half. These cards are hysterical. And you have to get to say things like, oops, girl, you did it again. Or, are you being toxic? Are you being a man? It's so funny. It's endless. Just Google Britney. It's hysterical. Knocks him dead. So anyway, thank you so much for being a part and being here with me and like laughing with me, because laughter is the best spell ever. Laughter is magic. And it's beautiful and healing, and I love that we got to do this together. So have a beautiful, silly day, and let's listen to more Stories from the Cauldron. What? No, you don't say. We got some surprises coming up.
to turn to page 482. You will see there's a time travel spell on page 482. Now, no nonsense, no tomfoolery. We will be going back in time only a few moments. Prepare the sacred finger snap. In 3, in 2, in 1 moments. Prepare the sacred finger snap. In 3, in 2, in 1 moments. Prepare the sacred finger snap. In 3, in 2, in 1 moments. Prepare the sacred finger snap. In 3, in 2, in 1 moments. Prepare the sacred finger snap. In 3, in 2, in 1